All right, it is 10:31 a.m. on another sunny Tuesday in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I think I get more and more specific of where I live each time. This video, not much going on. I've noticed in the last couple episodes of my podcast, if that's what we want to call it, that I start to ramble. I start to not ramble, but just talk really fast. And I feel like I keep going and I build momentum of using my words. And then I just keep using words. And then I feel like if I have silence, then I'm doing something wrong. And then I'll look away at my phone, for instance. And then, or something, giving myself a couple second break. And then there's almost like a switch in my brain that says, hey, there's silence. Oh no, that's a bad thing to have. When in actuality, it's okay to let the words breathe a bit. So then that made me think, okay, that's something to improve on. You know, I do like doing this talking thing, this podcast thing. I don't know why. I mean, I just love, I guess, the sound of my own voice like any other narcissist. But if I want to improve, not only do we have to do the reps, to continually to practice, to speak, but then while you're doing these reps, to learn along the way. And that's just the amazing thing of this day and age, is that whatever you want to learn or get better at, you can be connected to others that also want to do that thing, and then learn from them and just learn from general practices and the best ways to do certain things. So I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to look up. It sparked the idea. How can I be better at doing this podcast? I've done 24, maybe 25 episodes. And I definitely have gotten a hell of a lot more comfortable just being able to what I call free speak, where you just kind of ramble and find your way through. But at the same time, I'm kind of learning or wanting to be better about that. I'm trying to have a little bit of a script, so as to not just kind of meander and eventually find the point I want to make, rather than see, like right now I kind of lost my train of thought, and that's just practicing and getting more comfortable with speaking. So the first thing I want to do now, I'm not sure if there was a train of thought I was actually going down and I completely forgot. I guess that's just part of it. Yeah, so the first thing I want to look up, oh geez, you can't see that screen. I always have trouble. Oh, it needs to be way shorter. Skirt. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to ask the first question. So I notice that when I practice or do my podcast, that sometimes if I get on a roll and am speaking for 10 to 15 minutes or just continually talking, I get faster and faster, and then I almost am afraid of silence, and that I feel like I have to constantly fill the void. This notion came to me the more I practice and get these reps in. And so then I realize that is something that I can work on, is slowing down a bit and trusting my words, letting them breathe a little bit, and giving myself and the listener a bit of space rather than a constant, fast-paced, nonstop. That can be exhausting. That said, are there any other tips that you can give on a solo podcast to help me improve the overall quality? So I'll have solo. Oops. So that's the problem, is when if you start talking in the speak mode, it thinks you're responding to it and it cuts you off. Oh, looks like yeah, it did. So let's see. Feel free to no. Respond back. Whole thing. Come on, fella. Yeah, you nailed this one. The awareness that silence is okay is huge. Pausing between thoughts lets ideas land and actually makes you sound more confident, not less. And that is true. I mean, I will say we're watching the show Traders right now. It's the silly survival not survival. I guess you try to survive in the game. A competition reality show where it's basically a whodunit, a game of Clue, where people in this mansion. There's traders. There's like 2 or 3 traders, and the rest are called the faithful. And every night, someone gets murdered and is eliminated from the game, and nobody knows who's responsible for killing the faithful. And those are the traders, and you have to try to figure out who's the one doing it. And they vote someone out every night. They do a banishment and say like, "I think you're the traitor," and whoever gets the most votes is banished, and they reveal whether or not they are a faithful or a traitor, and that's how the game works. I say all that to say that when people are defending themselves, whether that they are a traitor or a faithful, whether they are guilty for the murdering or not, when people are put on the spot at the round table when they're questioned, like, "I think you're the traitor. Defend yourself," pretty much. When people like, "No, I don't know what else to say. I'm 100% a faithful. I just don't know what to tell you." It's driving me crazy because I can't do anything else, and that nervous energy helps nothing. And while I'm not that bad, I'm not that dramatic and that fast paced, that's the analogy I'm drawing to. And it comes across as weak. It does come across as someone who is not confident in what they're saying. And it's also just exhausting for a listener, whether that be a conversation in Traders or a podcast. This kind of speed is much more natural, and I think I might have gotten into a bad habit when I was doing regular YouTube videos and doing YouTube shorts designed for YouTube shorts, where you want to get in your point in quick because you're hoping that they don't scroll away. Like, it's just an unnatural way of speaking and communicating, and I think you lose a lot of your authority with that kind of pace. So the whole thing I'm just saying is to slow down, and I that's part of this podcast, is to just kind of reiterate ideas selfishly for me. That's what this is about. It's always been about getting better as a human, kind of just working on my own growth and learning new things, trying to be better. In this podcast is the vehicle or the medium for that growth. And so I'm just doing an extension of that right now. So instead of doing it in the background where I would be learning and going over these things without recording, let's just combine the two, because that's what this podcast is for growth, is to get better. So why not just show you what I'm thinking about and record the damn thing, and then I'm getting more reps in too. So win-win for me. Structure before you hit record. Even loose notes help. Yep, not a script, just a skeleton, the 3 to 4 things you actually want to cover. Yeah, that's a big thing. In the past, and whether you do YouTube or you want to be creative, it's a fine line between having a script and having nothing. Because I can tell you firsthand that when I wrote scripts, when I was doing my other YouTube videos, I would analyze every word. Like, if there was a script that was like 5 minutes, I forget how many words that would be. I would calculate it. Believe that. And I would spend days. I think I would spend 3 or 4 days reviewing a script, rewriting it. Oh, that's not the right thing to say. And then you just get so bottled up in analysis paralysis, wondering, is this the right thing to say? Is this the wrong thing to say? No, this could be better. And then it takes all the life out of it. It takes the fun out of it. You're no longer enjoying yourself, which is what this should be. I mean, you're just talking. You're just, expressing yourself. And if you're not having a good time with it, why the hell are you doing it? So that's another important thing. On the flip side, though, I'm a very extreme person, I guess, but I tried the other way, especially at the beginning of these episodes, like when you start to see the numbered in my on my YouTube channel, like when you start to see like the last 24 videos are the numbered episodes I'm talking about, and like number 2 or 3 or whatever when I'm in my car, the ones where I'm in my car, I am meandering a lot. So then I went to the other side of the extreme and just trying to find my point. But that was a good thing for me. I needed that because I was so analysis paralysis with the writing. I needed to get to the other side of the spectrum to then find my way towards the middle. Or if anything, more towards the looser side, have a couple bullets, but then also just see where the wind takes you. And I think that is a good format for a podcast. I mean, that's what, hell, Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn do. Like, all the big people, they have an idea. They have a couple topics and things they want to cover just in case, or not even just in case. They have a couple things they want to cover. They may start it, but they just see where the conversation takes them. If Joe Rogan brings up one point to his guest, and then that just, like, the conversation keeps flowing, the log that's thrown in the river, that's the analogy I'm trying to use. If the point or the log is in the river and it keeps flowing and it keeps going and it has momentum, you run with that. And then if it gets stuck or it loses the momentum, it can't find its way, you do another point and you do another point, and then that's how it works. That it feels more authentic. It feels more natural for a listener. It feels like a conversation, which of course is why podcasts have become so popular, is because people are just talking. It's a much more just easy to listen to thing rather than someone saying, I have 3 points for us to talk today. We have number 1, we have number 2, and we have number 3. Let's get into it, please. Or let's get into it, and please subscribe. I don't like listening to those videos. And those were the videos I was trying to make, and that's part of the reason why it just felt unnatural, didn't feel good, I didn't have fun doing it. And it just wasn't real. It just wasn't real. So the takeaway is to have a loose structure. I think I've done a decent job of trying to find a balance of that. To let it flow. If it starts to die down, you move on to the next point, kind of like right now. Like right now, I'm like, all right, let's move on. Let's go to the next thing. The reset trick. If you feel yourself speeding up or losing the thread, physically change something. Sit back, take a deep breath. You see how I did that? Take a deep breath, slow down. Your body and voice are connected. Changing one changes the other. That's so true. Now that I see that, I feel like I need to change. All right. Well, now that I check in with my body, I was a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I don't know if I have anything to say on that. And that's another thing, is like where I say or these are kind of fillers, like those with time, you kind of delete those from your own speaking sentences instead of filling the void with or not the, just like that, thinking out loud. It's it's something that comes with practice. It's kind of eliminating those filler words, learning to just say your sentences without adding the extra bullshit. All right, listen back critically. Ooh, see, I have to be careful with that. Pick one episode and listen like a stranger would. You'll catch the filler words. That's kind of what I was just describing. The rush transitions when you hurry up. The moments where you lost yourself. Damn, it knows me like a book. You only have to do this a few times before your ear gets trained and you self-correct in real time. So I guess that's what this episode is attempting to do, is I'm definitely being more mindful with the words that I'm using. I'm trying to slow down on purpose. The mind will often want to jump ahead to gain speed, to gain momentum. And I have to dial it back. You come back, you slow it down. And then that's correcting yourself in real time. And that's the helpful thing of watching yourself when you do anything. It's kind of like when you someone takes a video of you and you see how you act or how you sound candidly, and you're like, oh, is that what I sound like? Oh, is that how I hold my body? Do I look like that? And it can be valuable information if you're a performer, if you're doing something like this where you're on camera and you want to be, perceived well by others and not cringy, and to kind of catch your own habits or idiosyncrasies, picadillos, whatever you want to call them. It is helpful to watch back to get an objective view. My cat just jumped up onto the cat tower. I don't know if you can see that. Look at these cute boys. Boys! Mid-lick of the ass. Yeah. And even like right now, I feel much more comfortable just speaking, just holding the conversation. And by God, no one should be watching this. This is complete droll. But it's the necessary reps and the practice to get better at this craft. And I enjoy it. I mean, everyone and their mother wants a podcast these days, and I'm one of them. I have to admit it. But it's something I want to do, and I will do this regardless of anyone watching or not. I don't know why. It's fun for me, and we're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep doing it. There we go. I was looking at my phone. Look at that. So comfortable that I'm willing to be rude. Let's see. What's the next? Listen back critically. Vary your energy intentionally. Solo podcasting can flatten out. Same pace, same energy, same register for 15 minutes. So then, they're saying to mix it up. Treat it like music. Have faster moments, loud moments, quieter moments, faster and slower. That contrast is what keeps people listening. So there you go. I didn't know that. You want to vary up your pace, vary up your mood, your intention, the way you speak, because that's what gets people listening. And I'm practicing that right now. We're changing it up. We're going to change the flow here to keep you engaged, because otherwise you become habituated to it. Like the washing machine that's going on in the background. Maybe that's the dryer. Regardless, if it's just the same speed, same tempo, your brain's like, oh, I know what that is. And it loses your interest. So if we change our pace, we do slow it up intentionally, being aware of the way we are speaking. Slowing down, getting quieter, faster and slower, louder, and also slow. Yeah. It is an art form. It truly is an art form, a craft, a skill that with time, hopefully you get better at. And it's just this combination, and this is true of life, seriously. If you want to be a race car driver, if you want to be a video game professional, if you want to be a podcaster, if you want to be a software developer, if you want to be a concerto violinist, you need to practice and get the reps. And then within that, you need to make sure that you are practicing and working on things that go in the right direction. So if I were to just get these reps in and not be aware of the shortcomings or where I need to improve, then I'd probably be getting the same results. In the same way that if a violinist just worked on the same scales, sure, they can get proficiency and mastery in that, but then there's never any expansion. There's never any further growth. Or I guess another way of looking at it is listening back to your recordings if you were the violinist. Seeing a third eye view of it rather than just always just playing. And see, right now is a good example of this. I'm trying to figure out my point midway through. And what I'm trying to say is that when you practice to be more aware of the shortcomings and the things that you need to work on, so you are getting better strategically. You are working on the things that you are weak at, so then you strengthen up. You have a more holistic picture of what needs to be built or to be fixed. Like if you live in a house and for some reason you have blinders on in the house, you have like these blinder folds on and you can't really see the whole picture, you won't really know what to improve. You have to search a lot harder. But if you take the blinders off, and maybe that's through watching other people build houses, watching videos on painting, looking at how things are supposed to be, you have a frame of reference, and then now you can see things more clearly for how they actually are, rather than just your own conditioning without anything to compare it to. Yeah, this is definitely a skill, something to improve on, to get better at, and I can feel myself now looking for ways to vary up my pace. Like I need to keep it moving, I need to keep it going, and that it has become a little droll again. And let's go on to the next thing. The best solo episodes usually have one strong central idea that everything orbits around. If you can't say what your episode is about in a sentence, it might be doing too much. Now that is a shot to the gonads, because I will often try to have an episode with many different things going on, because it's just different things that I think about in a given day, and I just lump them all together. That said, I'm sure that there have been podcasts out there that have tried to do that way, and they have possibly failed. Where you try to have multiple topics within a single episode, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't hold well together. And it's something that I can play with, that I can experiment with, but keep in mind to notice that, hey, maybe that having different subjects is something that most people will not want to listen to, or just doesn't flow naturally without like a central theme. And I guess that makes sense. In the same way that in an episode of a story, or like an episode of a TV show, a movie, a book, there can be different things going on, but there's a central, what they call a through line. Like the ideas throughout are all off of the main kind of branch, so to speak. Like you can have a tree trunk flowing down, where that's the whole plot, that's the through line, and then you have things that branch off, but they're all connected to the tree trunk. So that is a good thing to think about for me, as far as the material within the episode itself. Like for this episode, while it is not the most interesting, it does have a through line, and that is me working on getting better at speaking and just hearing myself talk and changing up the pacing, learning from our AI overlords on how to sound better when no one else will ever listen to you. Okay, this has gone on long enough. If you have made it this far, I wish I had money to give you, because you are a champion, or maybe you just like pain, in which case you may need to get helped out. That is just me being self-deprecating, because I would not want to listen to this myself, I would imagine. But it is good practice for me, and that's what I'm doing here, is practicing. This channel, like I've said many times, is about for me to learn to get better, and it's an artistic expression for me. it just makes me feel good. After I talk, after it's like my journal. When I do this afterwards, I feel like a weight has been lifted, and it's just fun. I don't know what it is about this, but it's just fun. It's enjoyable to learn about topics, to be able to take not complex, or just to take any topic and to expand upon it and to help others understand or see your point of view, to paint a picture vivid, as many rappers have said. But that's enough. Thank you all for listening. I will see you all